Hello, everyone. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to the technical session 5B. My name is Anisha Mishra, and I am the moderator for today's session. So on behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the International Congress on Information and Communication Technology, ICICT 2023. The 8th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held in London, UK on 20th and 21st February 2023. And the virtual event is being held through Zoom yesterday and today, that is 22nd and 23rd February 2023. And I hope you all will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions through the day. In this session, we have 6 presentations. Each presenter will be given 12 minutes for their presentation and 3 minutes for question and answers. And on 10 minutes, I will raise a gentle reminder. There is another request to all the participants that you all please stay connected with us till the closing of the session. And if you have any update or query, you can write it to me in the chat box. So just before we get started, I would like to introduce you all to the chairs of the session. Dr. Guang Lu. And Dr. Guang Lu is a lecturer at Lucerne University of Applied Sciences and Arts, Switzerland. Dr. Guang Lu has a passion for artificial intelligence and data science technologies and interest in identifying the academic and business values of big data. He has an experience of 15 plus years in computer programming, 12 plus years in data analytics, 6 plus years in machine learning, and 3 plus years in recommender system and natural language processing. He has excellent research expertise and good at teamwork, structural thinking, and storytelling. And now we have another session chair for the session, Dr. Samiksha Shukla. Dr. Samiksha Shukla is an associate professor at Christ Bangalore. Her research interest includes computation security, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, and big data. Her core expertise lies in computational security, artificial intelligence, and healthcare-related projects. She is a certified AWS educator. She has presented and published several research papers in reputed journals and conferences, and has 16 years of academic and research experience. She is a reviewer for the InterScience Journal, Springer Nature's International Journal of System Assurance Engineering and Management, and IEEE and ACM conferences. So welcome to the session, chairs.
Thank you, Anisha.
Thank you, Anisha. It's a very pleasure to meet all of you and wish you a very nice session together with us.
Okay, yeah. So now we will start with the sessions. And I would like to invite our first presenter, Enrique Rafael Garcia Sanchez, to present his paper on the title, A Pedagogical Framework for STEM Education Using Disruptive Innovations. So dear presenter, you may please present your paper now.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Enrique Rafael Garcia Sanchez. I work in the state of Puebla, in Mexico, as an associate professor at the Meritorious Autonomous University of Puebla, better known as UAP, given its name in Spanish. Today, I'm going to present my research paper entitled A Technopedagogical Framework for STEM Education Using Disruptive Innovation. This project has been carried out in collaboration with some colleagues. One of them belongs to the same university, but in a different department. And the other colleague comes from a different university located in the same region, but in a different department, as I can tell you. Okay. Unfortunately, they could not attend given the time difference among countries. To begin with, I would like to share some background about STEM education. The origin of STEM can be traced to the 90s when the National Science Foundation in the United States included science, engineering, and technology in K-12 education. The concept of disruptive innovation was coined in 1997. At first, the term was known as disruptive technology, but later the idea spread to non-technological variants and the concept evolved to disruptive innovation. Okay, today, some of the most common disruptive innovations are Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robotics, 3D printing, e-learning, among others. Well, current research in STEM education has demonstrated a relationship between the use of information and communications technology and a better learning in students. Traditional education will not be able to meet the needed criteria to motivate or to increase the interest of students in all STEM-related fields. The purpose of this research is to present an overview of a new learning approach using disruptive innovation. All of them focused on children education based on a literature review. A systematic review in the STEM education area was carried out. By following this systematic review, at the beginning of the research, we based all of the knowledge in personal skills in order to identify the needs, such as the current state of the problem. After that, we chose some characteristics for inclusion and exclusion criteria, and we were able to select our sources. To undertake the review, we proposed the following research questions and keywords. What are the current trends in STEM education? What are the approaches focused on disruptive innovations for STEM education? What results have the authors obtained through their implementation of their proposals? And our keywords were STEM, education, children, and also important concepts for disruptive innovation, such as computational thinking, 3D, IoT, AI, and so on. The systematic research required a hierarchical approach. The sources used in this work were determined by the most popular databases, such as Google Scholar, Scopus, Springerlink, Web of Science, among others. This research was done mostly in the English language, but also some Spanish literature were considered, given our context. In this presentation, we can note the total number of consulted papers and its classification according to the funding database. Okay, after that, we apply the inclusion and the exclusion criteria. We made clearance for our data. And after applying the including and excluding criteria, we remove the duplicates and what we consider not to be fit for our research, and the number of the literature was reduced to 197. However, after the data analysis, we only consider 25 research documents which were selected and divided into groups. During the conducting stage, the data was obtained following the keywords the keywords obtained in the planning stage, and the papers were not included. Well, they were classified, but they were not included in more than one disruption. Even if the paper had 2 or 3 or more disruptive innovations, we only classified it in one. We chose the most prominent technology, and that was the way we got our information. Okay, after that, we classified all the considered papers according to their disruptive innovation, and we analyze the implementation of that disruptive innovation in STEM education. After our analysis, we found some different pedagogical approaches obtained from the review of the literature, and we realized that all the authors chose some active pedagogical approach. There is no universal method for implementing disruptive innovation, but according to our results, it is possible to follow a pattern by identifying key attributes of STEM education. The pedagogical approaches that we obtain are the following: project-based learning, challenge-based learning, problem-based learning, play or game-based learning, design thinking, and inquiry-based learning. Okay. In this figure, we propose our techno-pedagogical framework. The proposed framework consists of a 3-layer philosophy, each layer focused on fundamental concepts, which in conjunction let enhance and amplify learning. On the external layer, the selection of a STEM-related topic guarantees the uptake of the framework. The disruptive innovation selection introduces the technological approach, and the pedagogical methodology addresses the support and the process for the better learning. The core values develop interest among students, and they serve as the pillar of commitment. It is important to mention that tools and equipment, given the techno-pedagogical status, are required when setting STEM education as a priority. On the middle layer, the core values and the pedagogical methodology enables a deeper understanding of the framework. Assessment for the topic needs to be set up to measure the impact of the disruptive innovation and the obtained knowledge. Preparation of a learning environment is also important. It's also a very important part of the process, because according to the technological approach, there may be different tools and equipment to use. And at the end, on the inner layer, we have a student-centered learning, which lets collaboration, creativity, and experience on STEM-related fields. Okay. This is all for my presentation. However, I would like to tell you that right now, we are also working on a project in which we are implementing our own framework in a real case scenario. So right now, we are developing a STEM education model by using some disruptive innovations that in the future will be used in a real case with real children so that we can test it. Okay, thank you very much. This is all right now.
Thank you for the presentation, and you proposed really a very nice and complete type of framework. The question which I have is you have selected, I think, around 25 papers for data analysis. So I would like to know what was the criteria on which basis you have selected the papers. You are mute.
Sorry. Okay. The way we conduct this research was based on some including and excluding criteria. And for selecting the final works, we took the impact factor of the journal. We took the time. The paper should be within a 5-year time lapse. We also chose the literature had to be conducted either in Spanish or in English. And we chose papers only contained at least one of the most common disruptive innovations that were found in the literature. Sorry, I guess I cannot hear you.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, I am asking whether you have selected only open access papers.
Sorry, could you repeat the question? It's because I could.
Whether you have selected only open access papers or you have got some database from the IEEE Explorer and Scopus.
Okay, yeah, IEEE Explorer, MDPI, City Press. We use most of the most common data sources. Web of Science, Scopus, Springer Link. The university where I work has a lot of access for these kind of platforms, and that's the way we conducted the research. However, at the end, we realized that some of the data was similar or it was the same, and we made a clearance of the data.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for your great presentation. And now we are moving forward to our next presenter. And I would like to invite Giselle Gollart Tavares to present her paper on the title Airflow Analysis in a Double Skin Facade Building Under Tropical Climates Using Evolutionary Algorithms. So, dear presenter, you may please present your paper now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gisele Tavares. I will present the work Airflow Analysis in a Double Skin Facade Building Under Tropical Climates Using Evolutionary Algorithms. I am a doctoral student at Federal University of Juiz de Fora, located in Brazil, and I developed this study with my advisors, Sabrina, Leonardo, and Priscilla. The presentation will process as flow, a brief introduction to energy efficiency, presentation of the geometric model and methods used, experiments and results, and conclusion. Population growth could lead to an increase in energy consumption of around 30% by 2040. The energy consumption of buildings in developed countries increases by 20 to 40%, surpassing industrial and transportation sectors in some cases. Improving energy performance can lead to a 20% reduction in greenhouse emissions. In Brazil, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems represent 49% of building energy consumption. Energy performance of buildings is indicated as a key element in ICICT sustainable development. Energy simulation plays an important role in building design because simulation tools allow us to compare several scenarios, help identify energy-saving potentials, and evaluate energy performance. Considering this scenario, double facades, like this, have gained the recognition as passive technological strategy that provides a modern appearance, moderates internal thermal conditions, and reduces energy demands. A double facade consists of an external layer, usually glazed, installed over the conventional facade of the building, forming a cavity that allows air circulation. The flow air in the double facade cavity is driven by solar-induced thermal buoyancy and wind-induced air pressure differences. The stack effect that occurs with the double facade is driven by temperature difference between the warmer cavity and the air cooler outside the air. In naturally ventilated buildings, cooler air from the user room displaces cavity air, while fresh air from outdoors is drawn through openings on the opposite facade, which passes through the user space before being extracted into the cavity. The solar gains hit the cooler air, forming a continuous convection stream. The present work aims to maximize airflow in the 50th floor of a building with a double skin facade through evolutionary algorithms. We insert some constructive parameters and use optimization algorithms to test different scenarios in Brazilian climate. We combine architectural solutions with parametrization and evolutionary algorithms to create an intelligent model that uses energy plus thermoenergetic modeling software to simulate scenarios and optimize airflow. Barbosa development the model using this study. The reference case is an 11-story office building with dimensions of 12 meters by 50.5 meters and 3.5 meters on each floor. On the north face, a clear single glazed outer layer was applied, creating 100 centimeters air cavity. The occupancy hours are set from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The multi-story facade has a cavity that is open vertically and horizontally. We selected 10 design parameters to generate different scenarios for Energy Plus simulations, which are cavity width, cavity top opening, cavity bottom opening, rotation of the building, vertical increase in back windows, vertical increase in front windows, the opening ratio of back windows, opening ratio in front windows. Okay. The optimization algorithms use the sets of possible values for each parameters to simulate and evaluate scenarios in the double facade model. Tested bioclimatic zones. Brazil has a diverse climate that ranges from the mildly cooler southern region to tropical climates in the center and north coastal districts. It is divided into 8 bioclimatic zones. Brasilia is in the zone 4, and the zone is primarily concentrated in the center-west. covering only 2% of the country. Brasilia has a tropical high altitude climate typical of plateaus and mountains. Rio de Janeiro is in the Zone 8, comprise the largest of the country with 58% of the territory. Rio de Janeiro has a tropical climate with an average temperature of 24 degrees Celsius. The computational method uses an object function composed of the difference between the flow that leaves and the flow that enters through the front window of the 5th floor, where flow out is the airflow that leaves in the front window, and the flow in is the flow that enters in the same window. We execute each computational experiment 20 times to obtain statistical data to evaluate the model's performance and use the Python to implement the computational method. For experiments, we use the PyGMO framework to implement the optimization algorithms and configure the population with 20 individuals and 50 generations. Initially, we parameterized the geometric model, allowing certain file sections to be modified using ICICT. After changing the model configuration, script uses Energy Plus to run the energy model simulation and parses the output files to extract airflow values. Thus, we used particle swarm optimization algorithm and genetic algorithm to optimize the model parameters, acting on generating scenarios and analyzing the object function. Each algorithm, PSO and GA, generates a new scenario according to a set of parameters, simulates it on Energy Plus, and evaluates the airflow in the 5th floor. This process ends when the optimization arrives at the 50 iterations. Analyze the runs of the algorithms. The maximum value for the object function was reached by the two methods tested in the last on run. In the best case, the configurations promote the better flow in relation to the reference model, both for the city of Brasilia and Rio de Janeiro. The parameters are cavity width maintained on 100 centimeters, the cavity top is fully open, the cavity bottom is fully open, no increase in the front windows. In the case of Brasilia, there was also no change in the vertical position of the back windows. The 45-degree rotation provided better flow in both cities and the 40 centimeters increase in the back windows. In Brasilia, the front windows had their height reduced by 100 centimeters, becoming closer to the wall's midpoint. For Rio de Janeiro, the optimization lifted the back windows by 10 centimeters and the front ones lowered by 10 centimeters. All windows in the reference case were fully open, having the opening percentages changed to 90% for the back windows and 50% for the front windows. These figures show the difference between the flows found in the best scenario of the optimizations and the simulations of the reference case. In Brasilia, the optimization indicates the improvement in the incoming out and incoming flow from the 40 to the 11th floor. In Rio de Janeiro, this improvement in airflow happening from the 3rd to the 11th floor in the coming out airflow, and from the 5th to the 11th floor in the incoming flow. From the convergence graphs, it is possible to notice that GA always remain above the PSO from iteration 30 ahead, despite the two reaching the best object function values in some independent runs. This happens because GA approaches the optimized scenario more frequently during the 20 runs and faster during the 50 iterations. This behavior of the algorithms indicates a better performance of GA. Main findings. We can conclusion that PCO and GA presented satisfactory results in the search of scenarios with better flow distributions compared to the results archived by the reference paper. GA has shown relatively better performance because of the execution time and faster convergence. The proposed method proved effective in semi-automating the process of optimizing buildings with double facades, aiming to support the planning of more efficient, sustainable, and comfortable constructions for the users. In addition, the development method can contribute to civil construction designs, making faster and better decisions in buildings still in the design phase. As future research, we want to explore other optimization methods as multi-objective techniques and test the computational approach in different buildings with a double facade. Here are some acknowledgements, and thanks for watching.
Thanks, Giselle. So I think we have overshot the scheduled time. Maybe I'll quickly ask a question because this is not from my area of specialization. The thing is, this is for building, you are talking about building airflow?
Sorry, you can repeat, please?
I just want to know this airflow analysis is for buildings.
Yes. Yes.
And
buildings.
At which stage of construction you will be doing this analysis, or you will be doing it pre-analysis?
We make the analysis of airflow on a building in Brazil. Simulate this in Brasilia and Rio de Janeiro, two zones, and analyze the airflow in the 50th floor because it's a mid-height of the building, and simulating the airflow in the 50th floor, we can estimate on a flow in the other floor of the building. I don't know if I answer your question.
Okay. Thank you so much for your presentation. I think we can proceed to next.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you so much for the presentation. And now we are moving forward to our next presenter. And I would like to invite Dimitri Gak to present his paper on the title Maturity of Web Services in the Application to Smart City Conception, Case of Optimal Pathfinding Services, Assess Types Library, and www.gomap.a's project. So dear presenter, you may please start your presentation now.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you for organization of this event. And I would like to present my paper, our paper, Maturity of Web Service in Application to Smart City Conception, Case of Optimal Pathfinding Services, S-Type Library, and www.gomap.a's project. You can check it is online and you can try it. So this research was contributed by 4 co-authors, from Elchin Ali from domain of business management commerce, me, technical and societal development models, Hamrat Abdullayev, scientific advisory issues, and Fuad Salmanov, software development issues. So the motivation, there is 3 main gaps. There is no single definition of what a smart city is, and its limitation because we can evaluate something against how it compliant with smart city. Second, existing maturity models are limited and old. because they made in a number of components allowing manual calculations and quick research and getting result. And third is lack of methodologies to evaluate a software product in terms of compliance with smart cities, as I already spoken. So main achievement is evaluation of free software products as part of a socio-technical system by a model with the scale from chaos up to mission totality. I will explain it. So GoMap as project contain three main parts. It's all project. It's a web portal containing maps and data of three countries: Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Armenia. It's part web optional path finding services working on motor transport road network, and SS-type library containing high-performance routines used in the web portal. These three products were evaluated. So we use two facts. What smart city is socio-technical phenomena containing from social and technical issues, and information communication technologies play a key role in the development of smart cities. So what is model and a bit review? It can model socio-technical phenomena, but not only. Model phenomena from chaos, zeroth level or first pattern, up to total mission, 60th level, 5 pattern. I will show you it next. It's universal, fractal, and capable of modeling complex phenomena. But because it can model complex phenomena, it requires high volume calculations and need computer simulation, artificial intelligence. It's so I used some information from previous paper, base paper. I look at information. It's presented in FED KSIS conference, and describing what SLM-HM model practically can be used to combine evaluation of societal development and technological development. And for example, it can be used as scale from 1 to 16th, and chaos can be considered as 0th level. Where society or organizations developed up to mission, and technologies developed to total implementation in all spheres of human activities. So I use 2 slides from Felix's presentation, and it shows what model use findings from coaching, psychology, history, philosophy, economy, and different maturity models. And SLM-HM model based on idea of massive error human population, but it's made by different way and don't drift from it. And here is a development level containing 16 levels and 5 patterns, according showing development of information communication technologies. It can be applied. It present in paper I mentioned. So in this research, what to model? To consider using software product, we need its best way to model interaction between, for example, developers, staff, users, and environment, not only natural, but external systems and so on. And in this research, we analyze components in intra-project scope and project with environment and external systems. So, and if consider developing structural pattern, it's pattern where something start existing, and it's start from desire, market research showed what expected enormous benefits from the projects, and then intention, public and private sectors were attended implementation of a project. Public sector, it was Ministry of Culture and Tourism, government organization, and Sinam company, it's private sector, and Institute of Control Systems, supported by research issues. So then feasibility, and two main problems were solved. It's gathering vast volume of data, and we use non-structuring gathering, and after gathering, data was structured. And secondly, running fast online map drawing service, because we need to draw map quickly. Action, it's level where something start to act, to exist, and the implementation project took place. Next level is logical. It's evaluation. Evaluation how good it's work, and here we use test and feedback from staff and users. Evaluation allows to improve, and improvement include, for example, debugging, upgrading, code refactoring, and improving allows to use alternatives, because alternative can be used here for improvement. And examples of such alternatives, different programming language, C#, because we have many C# programmers, and C++ for fast code, web and mobile application, proprietary open source software, multiple feedback paths through site, through mobile application, through phone calls, for example. Free user interface languages, Azerbaijani, English, and Russian. And it's 8th level in innovation. And this project is innovation in Azerbaijan. And when we started it, it was one of 4 with Google Maps, with Chinese Bind, and with Yandex Maps, I remember. So, pattern of connectivity, it's third pattern. It includes reward for all components, all systems. And for example, the map can give data for e-government, taxi service, and use their data for improvement of the map and updating it. Optimization of such links with external systems, and synergy, it's a level where operation of system and external systems achieve a level when summary benefit is greater than sum of benefits of separate systems. It's a very high level actually, but there's the levels above what lay upper it. For example, extraordinary, it's innovation what impact all system for a long time. And here we can say what GoMap as project cannot achieve such levels because it depends on external systems, and if external systems will develop and in cooperation with interlinks and interconnectivity, it will be growth. But within scope of the project, SS types library can be considered like extraordinary because it's used anywhere in the project. It contains basic routines, what's very fast. So, and the last pattern is creativity, where information is generated, and here traffic information of traffic jams is generated automatically and entered in real time into the pathfinding services. Streamlining, it's transforming real-time traffic data into graphical form and showing on the map. Expansion allows to growth, and now we can say only about including two neighbors countries, Armenia and Georgia, to Azerbaijan. And totality is the last level, but it's theoretical level, not achieved, and it's mainly aim allowing to grow, to push it to achieve it. So it's use of the project everywhere and in all areas of human activity.
Sir, I think you can conclude, huh? Because time.
Oh, yes, yes. And it is first attempt of a practical use of the model, because it's mainly a theoretical model. GOMAP, and it's have, as I explained, we can say it's achieved level innovation, and future development depends on third-party systems, and its library is achieved level expansion. The scope of the project is the highest level, but it's within the project. So, and research show a great potential for further theoretical practical studies. And we wish to express gratitude to Sinam for the support and information. Thank you for your attention. And if you have questions, I can explain. It's I just show this table because it could help to form questions.
Yes, so thank you. It was a nice presentation. I had a question where you were talking about the traffic jam. You will be collecting data from the map or somewhere, right? GPS. Yeah, here. So how you are getting the data, real-time traffic data over here?
Yes, we collected traffic data from another companies, and I don't know details, but the information getting from all map of Baku city, I know, and it's can be gathered from GPS devices, from car navigation systems, or for mobile applications placed
Okay.
on the car. And yeah.
And is there any kind of prediction which you can make with your data, because you would have got sufficient data, so you can predict that this particular point of time traffic is more?
Yes, actually we have different we try to predict data, but now the traffic situation in Baku city depends from different our situations. What for example, repairing of road can put
Sometime
several
road
roads
repair
to
another one.
freeze, for half of hour or something else. But it's require cooperation of different agencies. Cooperation of, yeah.
Thank you for your presentation. It was a nice presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for the presentation. And moving further in the session, I would like to invite our next presenter. So our next presenter's name is Mariana Alfredine Woman Lola Balogun. Apologies if I'm pronouncing it wrong. And the paper title is Radio Coverage Prediction in Wireless Networks, a Bibliometric Study. So dear presenter, you may please start your presentation now.
Okay, my name is Marianne Balogun. I'm Beninese. I'm from Africa Center of Excellence. In mathematics and computer science. My presentation is about radio coverage prediction in wireless networks, a bibliometric study. So I will start the presentation by the context and the problematic. Then I will present the methodology followed by the results and description as well as highlights in this work before concluding. The propagation of radio signals in a broadcasting system is affected by the interactions of the electromagnetic wave with the propagating medium, causing various sorts of effects such as reflections, refractions, diffraction, scattering, etc. That needs to be considered in system evaluation, network planning, and broadcast service operation. For this purpose, many authors propose different models for predicting radio coverage in networks. The effectiveness is determined by the predictive power of the path loss model in diverse environments and at distant frequencies. So there are traditional models and those based on machine learning. The traditional ones are used in the International Telecommunication Union ITU standards, while the recently introduced machine learning-based models give better performance. So building more trustful and simple to use ML-based model is necessary. Therefore, with a continuous stream of research, there is a need of mapping the research. Bibliometric methods help identify and quantify cross-interest and collaboration between institutes, journals, authors, and draw the recent advances, significant problems, main gaps in a specific area of research. So this paper presents a bibliometric study to obtain a structural overview of this field. The following research questions are addressed in this paper. What is the current level of research in radio coverage prediction? Who are the most productive and most cited authors in this field? Which are the most influential institutions, countries, and journals in this field? What are the potential research directions? To achieve these goals, on July 31st, 2022, bibliometric data were picked from the Web of Science database using this displayed search string. After the selection process using Prisma, 3,134 relevant publications have been identified. Then the relevant documents have been effectively used to perform bibliometric analysis using bibliometrics library program in R for comprehensive science mapping analysis of scientific literature. Table 1 shows the main information. Of best publication, 49% are articles and 51% are proceeding papers. They have been written by 7,000 and 971 authors. On average, vast documents have been published during the 8 previous years. Figure 3 shows annual scientific production. The highest production occurred in 2018 with 305 papers, followed by a small decrease in the number of papers published in the years 2019 to 2021, possibly due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Nevertheless, 60 of related works on radio coverage prediction have been published in the last 7 years, indicating that there is a recent activity in this research field. So the first 5 case sources growth is presented in figure 4. The first 2 authors are from the same Beijing Jiaotong University and are identified in figure 5 as the most interesting authors in this topic with 28 publications each. The Beijing Jiaotong University appears in figure 6 as the leading affiliation with 66 publications on the topic, followed by the Beijing University of Post and Telecommunication, China, with 62 papers. The University of Ilorin and Covenant University from Nigeria are the 2 African universities on this short list. The 2 first most cited documents in figure 7 are both about radio coverage prediction in the microwave and millimeter wave radio spectrum that correspond to 5G spectrum. Other categories covered in this short list are mobile systems in general, airborne wireless communication system, terrestrial wireless communication system, and IoT. Table 2 present the most influential countries on the topic with China at the top. So the figure 8 is about the world's clouds, and we can notice that the most important for radio coverage prediction are different prediction models. These models are designed using different approaches like purely theoretical modeling, empirically fitting, often traditional statistical modeling, or machine learning algorithm, etc. Figure 9 show a co-citation relationship between 50 authors. So the authors highly assess the intellectual flow and development of research activities on radio coverage between 1968 and 2017. 2 clusters are observed around Hatta M and Rappaport's TS. The works are respectively about propagation loss in radio mobile services and millimeter wave mobile communication for 5G cellular. These papers are references and suitable results have been got for ITU standards. So the figure 10 displays the conceptual structure map. 2 clusters have been identified, and the first cluster is about.
Sorry to interrupt. I think, could you please conclude?
Okay. Before concluding, Our study highlights that there is a recent interest in radio coverage prediction. The trends are new prediction between prediction techniques and 5G network. More recent works focus on microwave and millimeter radio spectrum. The prediction models based on the range are valid only for the modeling environment and alike and vary according to different environment. Then accurate studies are needed. So to move to the conclusion, I can say that this paper gives a structural insight into the research trends on radio coverage prediction publication between 2000 and 2022. Conceptual clarification, collaboration, top sources, authors, affiliation, more cited documents, and so far and so on have been obtained. A qualitative analysis should be conducted on the most relevant papers to improve machine learning-based models. Future engineering could help the generalization of these models and reduce time-consuming and computing complexity problems encountered with traditional models. Thank you for listening to me. I'm open to any clarification, question, and contribution from you. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have any question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for the presentation. And now we are moving forward to our next presenter. And I would like to invite Matthew McCrory to present his paper on the title, Reviewing Non-Intrusive Load Monitoring Using a Pilot Study of an IoT Device to Disaggregate Energy Usage. So dear presenter, you may please start your presentation now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, perfect. So, hi, my name is Matthew McCrory. I'm from Ireland. So this research is all about reviewing non-intrusive load monitoring using a pilot study of an IoT device to disaggregate energy usage. So this study was done in conjunction with a company called NI Water. They're a utility company in Northern Ireland, and this was done as part of the dissertation component of my master's degree in data analytics at Queen's University Belfast. The study was done with the help of my co-authors, Adele Marshall, Alex Novakovic, and Jeffrey Collins. So to set the scene and understand why we undertook this study, I will first provide a quick bit of background on NI Water. So as I said, they're the main subject of this research. NI Water have the highest electricity bill in Northern Ireland. This did total around 60 to 70 million pounds for the year 2022. And this expense is a product of the energy intensive resources required to both clean and pump water. Like many industrial companies, this reliance on electricity has had a severely negative impact on the company's carbon footprint. So one approach that's being considered to combat this footprint is non-intrusive load monitoring. So what is non-intrusive load monitoring? The textbook definition suggests that it is a system that disaggregates energy consumption data from a single measurement point into appliance level data. So to simplify this is, if you think of within your own homes, the data is collected from one point, for example, your electric box, rather than a variety of different sources. So instead of using some from your kettle, your toaster, your fridge, it's all collected from the one singular point. So this aggregate data is then used to identify both the operational state of an appliance, making it a classification problem, and also estimating the power consumption of each appliance, so making it a regression problem. I've also provided an image in figure 1 of different load signatures for household appliances. So this shows how the power fluctuates each time a device is switched on or off. Like you and I, each device has its own signature. This is known as a load signature. And the whole purpose of non-intrusive load monitoring is to firstly understand and then recognize this signature. So the methodology for this paper was twofold. Firstly, we chronologically reviewed the literature to learn how non-intrusive load monitoring studies have evolved over time, with a particular focus on establishing the state of the art for each section. The three main sections we looked at were the data, i.e. what type of data was used for a typical non-intrusive load monitoring problem. Was the data readily available, i.e. were there public data sets that could be viewed online? Secondly, the learning approaches. What learning approaches are delivering state-of-the-art results? How have these evolved over time? Finally, then the evaluation metrics. So what were the most popular, what were the most suitable evaluation metrics for a typical non-intrusive load monitoring problem? So this research includes a practical element, of course, as well. The practical side made use of an IoT device that was used to collect aggregate energy data from my own home. I then explored a cost analysis and looked at the different types of load signature to really highlight the benefits of non-intrusive load monitoring. So to get started into the literature review and give a quick background on non-intrusive load monitoring, it was first introduced by George Hart in 1992. Since then, advancements in deep learning metering equipment, costs, and Internet of Things devices has caused a surge in recent research. So given the availability of data, or lack of, the early non-intrusive load monitoring studies utilized low-frequency residential data sets. These data sets continue to dominate the modern literature. However, the creation of industrial data sets has seen more studies consider non-intrusive load monitoring within industry. So moving on to look at the data in a bit more detail. So as I said, non-intrusive load monitoring is primarily regarded as a residential problem. Thus, there are an extensive number of residential data sets. However, to our knowledge, there are only 3 publicly available industrial data sets. These are the HYPE, ASF, and IMD data sets. As you can imagine, a lack of data sets has intrinsically led to a lack of research. So from a data collection standpoint, we found that there is no state-of-the-art sampling rate. Conventionally, anything above 1 kilohertz is high and below 1 kilohertz is considered low. It is, however, possible for a sampling rate to be too low. In this instance, a load signature cannot notably develop, which makes the disaggregation process increasingly difficult. An example of this is provided in figure 2, where we can see how much more detailed the load signature of a TV sampled at 10 hertz is compared to that of 0.1 hertz. Our research also revealed the creation of synthetic data via data augmentation is possible and seen within a number of different non-intrusive load monitoring studies. So when looking at the different features included, existing research showed that a variety of different feature types can be included in the data sets. This includes low frequency steady state features, high frequency transient features, and non-conventional features like statistics. So moving on then to the learning approaches, the big question is, what is the state-of-the-art learning approach? Well, this has very much changed throughout time. Within early non-intrusive load monitoring studies, statistical and machine learning approaches were dominating the literature and providing state-of-the-art results. The increased sophistication then of deep learning models has seen deep learning move to the forefront of the literature, namely the convolutional neural network, which has the advantage of including a convolutional layer to aid the feature extraction process, and the recurrent neural network, which has the proven capacity to deal with sequential data, which is very important for non-intrusive load monitoring. Finally, then, I've drawn attention to the non-intrusive load monitoring toolkit. What this is an open source toolkit that includes a range of data sets, pre-processing algorithms, benchmark disaggregation algorithms, and accuracy metrics. The purpose of this—
Matthew, could you please explain your model?
So there isn't actually a model here. This paper is largely focuses on doing the groundwork for looking into the history of non-intrusive load monitoring, and then there's a practical element to follow. There will be a paper that follows this. which dives deeper into different deep learning models. So
Okay,
I will,
okay. So can you move forward?
yeah, okay. I'll move forward then to the practical. So here you see a wiring diagram for the IoT device. So there are 5 main components of this device utilized for collecting the data. The USB connection was used to code the device, the battery powered the device, the antenna provided the internet connection and allowed the data captured to be sent to IoT platform. The photodiode, which had the job of reading the light levels, and finally the resistor, which was used to regulate the current through the device. So looking at how we went about collecting the data, the device was set up as I just explained, and the device was then coded to respond to a change in pulses from my electric meter. The device was positioned accordingly beside the meter. Each time the meter pulsed, this was captured by the device and then sent back to UbiDots, the IoT platform. The electric meter would pulse at a low steady rate, and when the activity in the house was minimal, conversely, it would pulse rapidly when multiple electrical devices were in use. So it's part of the practical.
How many devices have you used to collect data?
So just that one IoT device that you can see on screen now.
Okay, so will that much data would be sufficient for your research purpose?
Yeah, well, like I said, this paper was largely focused on the literature, and then
okay. So you might have done experiment, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm moving on to.
Okay.
So I'm moving on then. As part of the practical, I did an experiment to see if I could predict how the electric meter would respond to different appliances being turned on and off. This was possible using the equation that you can see, and as you can see, the predictions were in line with the actual results, so the data collected was as we predicted. Furthermore, this allowed us to gain an understanding of the different load signatures for these appliances. So moving on to these load signatures, you can see they're visualized here. To take you through what's happening here, there is no activity in the house. Periodically, different electrical devices are switched on and off, and this makes their load signatures clear. The main reason for this experiment was to firstly validate the data collection process, make sure it's accurate, and then secondly, get an understanding of the different load signatures. So next, we wanted to gain an understanding of the consumption pattern for different appliance types, and this was done over a 24-hour period. I should note that in this example, the y-axis is changed to represent kilowatt per hour, which is the amount of energy consumed per hour. So within this example, there are 3 different types of devices. So type 1 is just a device that has 2 states. It's either on or off. This is like a kettle. Type 2 is what's known as a finite state machine, has different number of states that are fixed, like a washing machine. And then type
Matthew,
3,
could you please conclude?
Yeah, sure. So as you can see, type 1 and 2 are the easiest appliance types to disaggregate. Conversely, the unpredictable nature of a type 3 device makes it the most difficult. Finally, to bring the project full circle, I mentioned at the beginning that one of the main benefits of this was that it allows NI Water to evaluate each component of the water treatment process and make informed decisions on the value of each appliance relative to its energy consumption and efficiency. I've given a breakdown here of how much a sample of appliances costs to run within my own home. Note the cost associated with each appliance is heavily influenced by the appliance's runtime. So if we translate this down our water's machinery, that can break down the cost of each machine, do the research on how it's performing relative to other machines, and then make informed decision on whether potentially an upgrade is needed or their water treatment process needs to change. And this analysis is all facilitated by non-intrusive load monitoring. So the main conclusion is that deep learning is leading the way in providing state-of-the-art results. NI Water should, however, be aware of the computational cost of employing a deep learning model, and in the future they should employ the non-intrusive load monitoring toolkit to complete non-intrusive load monitoring practically. So that's all from me. Thanks.
Thank you. It was an interesting project. So I had asked my queries on during presentation. I think we can proceed to next presentation.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for the presentation. And as now we are moving forward to our next presenter. And I would like to invite Renoy Thamai to present her paper on the title Towards a Framework to Improve Employees' Compliance with Cybersecurity Policy in Organizations. So, dear presenter, you may please present your paper now.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Greetings to you all. My name is Renee Thamai from the University of South Africa. I'm a student. Oh, can you see my screen? I'm trying to share my screen here. Okay, there we go. Yes, my name is Renee Thamai from the University of South Africa. I'm a student. I'll be presenting to you my paper is titled Towards a Framework to Improve Employee Compliance with Cybersecurity Policy in Organizations. And the study was carried through with the Dr. Haniva Abdullah and Professor Mujinga Matthias. Outline of the paper is as follows. Okay, let me do slide play. Introduction, theoretical background, proposed conceptual framework, limitations, and the last one is conclusion. Introduction, data transformation has brought about various cybersecurity challenges to organizations such as phishing and social engineering, etc., which are caused by a lack of effective cybersecurity policy training and awareness programs. Cybersecurity policy training and awareness programs is an effective communication tool that organizations must develop to protect the employees from cybersecurity threats. Organizations should conduct knowledge gap analysis prior to providing cybersecurity policy training and awareness programs and monitor the employees' performance post-provide to ensure compliance with the cybersecurity policy. Crime, fraud, and actions are studies proposed penalizing employees that click on phishing links and rewarding employees for communicating attempting social engineering, but solutions were found not to be effective. The aim of the paper is to develop a cybersecurity policy compliance framework to enhance cybersecurity policy compliance by providing a tool that can be used by organizations to notice employees' behavior change. The background, organizations are facing cybersecurity risks due to employees' behavior changes, such as intergroup dynamics, compliance, email behavior, and password behavior. Employees do not comply with the CSP due to a lack of knowledge because of an ineffective cybersecurity policy training awareness program, which does not adequately address employees' changing cybersecurity behavior. To ensure effective cybersecurity, organizations must install the right cybersecurity culture in their workforces and provide employees with effective training and awareness programs. Lack of knowledge, as we indicated, is one of the factors that are leading to employees not comply. Without proper knowledge, employees are at risk of sharing organizational information with strangers and clicking links without verifying the legitimacy. According to the Irani System Software Company 2021 report, 48% of malicious email attachments appeared as office files. Ineffective cybersecurity policy training and awareness programs. Organizations must provide employees with the cybersecurity policy training and awareness programs relevant to their job roles to minimize cybersecurity risks. To ensure employees understand the cybersecurity policy, organizations should conduct a gap analysis prior to developing such programs. The gap analysis should include.
Could you please move to your contribution?
Contributions.
Yes. What is the novelty of your research work?
It's all about I'm trying to develop a framework that would enhance in that, but we are trying to adapt the model and the framework that the behavior change rule and the combi model.
Yeah, so what are the parameters and what are the criteria to develop the framework?
Pardon?
Have you developed your framework?
Yes, I did develop a framework, but look, considering only the literatures of now.
So could you please go to your framework?
Okay, thank you. It starts from here with the theory, but this is what I have as a framework.
Yeah. Please, can you explain this?
Okay. This is a framework
It's named the Cybersecurity Policy Compliance Framework, and it's cyclical. If you can see the arrows, it's cyclical, and it's comprised of 2 layers, where the inner layer being the COM-B and the behavior change rule here. And then the outer one is the Cybersecurity Policy Compliance Framework. And then the Cybersecurity Policy Framework has 7 stages, namely the first one being the foundation, the second audience, assessment, strategic delivery, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation layer. I'll proceed to the interpretations. The foundation is where the cybersecurity experts learn and review existing cybersecurity policies to inform the need for an upgrade or development of a new CSP, or provide generic training that involves the basics of the cybersecurity policy. Then the gap analysis is carried out to identify the employees' knowledge gaps that need to be considered during the development of the cybersecurity training awareness programs. And that process is discussed in the audience layer. Employers must be set the targets, including targeted behavior, to be achieved by the developing cybersecurity training awareness program for their employees. To identify the knowledge gap, a gap analysis is needed, which includes cybersecurity behavior change analysis. And the results are prepared for assessment in the assessment layer. In the assessment, the results from the audience layer are used to identify the knowledge, cybersecurity culture, and experiences of employees. This is dependent on the study and the set targets by the employers. The results then inform the management on the need to improve the existing cybersecurity policy or develop a new cybersecurity policy, and are compiled as the assessment reports to be submitted to the management of the organization to develop or to strategize on the cybersecurity policy training awareness programs. Then on the strategic layer, the organization's management is committed to enhancing the cybersecurity policy training awareness programs to ensure employees comply with the cybersecurity policies. The assessment report is used to develop the policies or update existing ones to improve the cybersecurity compliance and instill cybersecurity culture. To achieve strategic cybersecurity compliance targets, the management shares the revised or the new policy with the experts to create the appropriate content and mode of delivery of the cybersecurity policy training awareness programs. And the plan regarding the content and the delivery mode is also implemented under the delivery layer. The experts under the delivery layer, the experts plan on the suitable content and delivery mode for the cybersecurity policy training awareness programs and collaborate on the cybersecurity policy training awareness implementation to meet the objectives set by the management under the implementation layer. The following implementation layer, then experts collaborate with the human resource specialists, cybersecurity champions, industrial, organizational psychologists. This is because they have got different expertise when it comes to trainings to conduct the cybersecurity policy training awareness programs that target behavioral change. Knowledge, skills, and cybersecurity behaviors should be monitored and evaluated to ensure effectiveness. Then to move into monitoring and evaluation layer, the IT or the cybersecurity experts can monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of the cybersecurity policy training awareness programs through attack simulations and periodic audits. Phishing simulators provide a view of how employees behave when they encounter threats. If the results of the monitoring and evaluation layer indicate issues of non-compliance with cybersecurity policy, the organization will then review and update the policy if necessary under the foundation layer. Just like I indicated that this is a cyclical model. This is the end of the interpretations of the layers. Can I press it?
Yes, yes. Can you please go to conclusion?
Okay, conclusions. Conclusion. This paper discusses the process of developing the proposed cybersecurity policy compliance framework, which provides guidance on how to develop effective cybersecurity policy training awareness programs incorporating behavior change framework and most aspects. The framework emphasizes the importance of involving all employees, all the stakeholders per se, in the development and implementation of the cybersecurity policy, conducting employees' behavior analysis, providing training and that is relevant to employees' job responsibilities and roles, and providing and reviewing them on a continuous basis. Future research will focus on large organizations with mature systems such as those that use digital devices to perform their daily job activities. The end. And thank you for your attention, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. So, see, I have only one query. See, for cyber policy, we have different policy across globe. So, which
Yes.
policy you will be considering as a benchmark and developing your framework?
Please clarify your question.
See,
Hello,
we
ma'am.
have different cyber policy across globe. Each country
Yes.
has different rules. So,
Yes.
which one will you consider as a benchmark for your work?
I'll be considering the Lesotho one, as I'm based
Which
in
one?
Lesotho, because the Lesotho one.
Huh?
Yes. As I've been
Thank
doing
you.
the study in Lesotho, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you.
And now we have completed all the presentations for today's session. And I sincerely thank all our authors for their excellent presentation and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope the session was informative enough for you all. And we, on behalf of the whole team, thank you for your support during this 8th version and the previous 7 versions of the conference. And we will be happy to have you in the 9th version in 2024. So all the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. And further, all the papers have already forwarded to Springer. And the publication will be live within 6 months. So kindly cooperate with the team of ICICT 2023. And I would also like to thank our session chair for chairing the session. And here is a small token of appreciation on behalf of the team of ICICT and Global Knowledge Research Foundation and partners. So thank you so much for your valuable presence, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So now, as we have come to an end of the session, I would request you all to please switch on your cameras so that I can take a quick snapshot of this virtual conference. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.